Hey, Steve Gamache here with another Chef Knives to Go quick look product review. What we have this time is the Kohetsu Shinano Aogami or Blue number 2 Honesuki 150 millimeter knife. And as the name indicates, this is comprised of construction as 3 layers, and this hard center cutting edge steel that goes down the core of the blade is what's known as Aogami or Blue paper number 2 reactive high carbon steel. Heat treats in the 62 Rockwell range. The construction is 2 layers, or a layer of softer stainless cladding on either side of that harder core steel. And it looks like the cladding does probably come up over the top of the blade. And then you can easily see where the cladding gives way in this kind of, you can call it like a faux Kasumi finish. It's like a sandblasted finish here. And that gives way to the core steel at the edge. So there's your core steel peeking out there. The weight and dimensions on these will vary just a little bit from knife to knife. This particular one is 92 grams or 3.2 ounces. The edge length is about 152 millimeters or about 6 inches. Overall length about 11.5 inches. And then the spine thickness. Generally with this style of blade you want a little bit of thickness to it and a little bit of stiffness. This is fairly thin for this style of blade, but it's about 2.8 millimeters thick at the back of the heel. And then halfway down I measured it at 1.5 millimeters. Again, these will vary a little bit from knife to knife, but this one thins out a fair amount towards the tip. I just did a video on the Kohetsu Blue number 2 Nishiji, and that one is quite a bit thicker than this one. It's a little bit heavier, and it's a fair amount stiffer. So there's different styles of these. This one, as well as that one, is ground double bevel. So you've got a bevel on each side ground to the center. And so it's ambidextrous. Frequently these style of knives are more of a single bevel style for a left-hander or usually a right-hander. Occasionally you'll find some left-hand ones, but this is ambidextrous, so makes it nice and easy to use for either person. I appreciate that being a left-hander. The blade height is about 39.7 or about 40 millimeters at the back of the heel. And then the handle's just a real basic, kind of nothing fancy, octagonal, maple with walnut, so the walnut's here, the maple's there, and good fit and finish on it. These are just pretty basic handles, but they do a nice job. It's got a pretty good glue up there to the tang into the handle, so for resistance to moisture getting in there. Just kind of a standard octagonal style handle. I measured it about 75, 76 millimeters where the two materials meet in circumference, so it's a pretty standard size handle. And you typically want a little bit larger handle on this style of knife, or frequently at least you see it. There's a spot to put your finger here for a pinch grip if you want to hold it that way when you use it. I guess let's get our beauty shot here. So this has the finish marks going longitudinally, kind of a brushed finish. And what's kind of cool about that is as you wipe and clean a blade, it typically will get some, just natural scratches on it. And you typically will clean and wipe and dry it, going this way, not this way. So those scratches and things that might come up on it kind of flow with the grain of the finish, and so that helps hide that a little bit. You've got a kind of a sandblasted Kasumi finish where the grind starts, and it's not exactly where this line is. That's a demark that they made when they put the finish on it. It's slightly lower than that towards the blade, and it's not a hard shoulder. It's kind of a gentle curve to the grind going down. A little hard to show with the way the reflectivity is different here, but it's a really nice, well executed grind on the thickness of the blade that comes down towards the edge. So it's gradual, it's smooth, and it's it's a little bit curved coming down and not a hard edge at that line. So that, again, the edge is not where that line is. It's a visual indicator. Let's see. I'd say the fit and finish is pretty nice on these. The corners of the spine are a little bit on the sharp side, but you may not even notice that, or if you want to, it would take you not very long at all to clean that up with a little bit of some strips of sandpaper, doing like a shoe shine back and forth across this. The choil area here into the neck is nicely smooth on both sides, so that's very comfortable. I'd say the out-of-box edge was maybe 5 out of 6 out of 10 on my scale. So, it's sharp, but you could definitely get it sharper. What else here? So the grinds are clean. You've got a little bit of flex in the front half. You can see the tip's pretty thin. Again, this is overall a lighter weight and thinner blade than the one I just did. let's see here, balance point, sorry. And this is going to vary with the handle a little bit, but this blade is lighter than the other one, so the balance point's right there. I can feel the difference between this one and the other one. So here is the cutting edge profile. Some people, and this one being thinner, could do a little bit more double duty as a little petty or utility knife if you're doing some other stuff and you want to clean it off and then use it for this. You know, for just some general board work. It definitely is thin enough, and the performance should be quite good because it's a pretty thin knife. But there's your edge profile if you're curious. Give you a choil shot here. It's ground fairly thin towards the edge. So anyway, really nice blade, but very light, nimble. Got a little bit of stiffness, fair amount of stiffness in the back, a little bit of flex in the front. But another interesting choice. Let's see, I almost forgot to show you. It does have like a crisply embossed kanji and symbol in the back, or I should say on the right side of the blade. And here's the left side of the blade as you'd be looking at. Almost forgot to show you that. But really nice package here. So this is the Kohetsu Shinano Aogami or Blue No. 2 Honesuki 150mm knife.